Good morning, church family. Hope you guys are having a great week. We're here toward the end of the week. It's a Thursday and getting ready to wrap things up for your work week, I'm assuming. And it also means we're getting a lot closer to June 7th when we're able to meet together once again in the buildings and worship together. Getting excited about that. I hope you are too. But I wanted to share today's devotional thought with you. Genesis 50:20 talks about the story of Joseph. And Joseph says to his brethren in that verse, "But as for you, you meant to do evil unto me, but God meant it unto good." Now, I may not have nailed that verse word for word, but that first portion is very, very significant. And I kind of wanted to share some thoughts with you about what Joseph was talking to his brethren about. If you know anything about the story of Joseph, which I'm sure many of you do, you know that he went through a lot of hard times in his life. And a lot of things happened to him by the hand of his family members, his brethren, that I think if any of us were to go through today, I don't know if we would react the same way Joseph did. I mean, I look at myself and I probably wouldn't react the way Joseph did. But Joseph takes the whole grand scheme of things and everything that happened to him in his life, and toward the end he tells his brothers basically, you wanted to do something evil and harmful to me, but God allowed it to happen for your good. And that's a level of faith that I strive for every day. But I just wanted to kind of share that verse with you because, sometimes in life we go through some tragic events or just the everyday grind, and sometimes we lose sight of how God is working in our lives. When something bad happens or even something tragic happens, sometimes we try to find excuses and try to blame everybody else for what's going on. And to some extremes, many people will begin to blame God for what's going on in their lives and even walk away from their faith. I saw some news on Facebook and even heard from some people, did a little bit of research on it, not a whole lot, about a Christian singer just recently renouncing his faith in God. And he said it was a process that took years. And it's sad to hear about somebody talk about they once had faith in God and losing that faith. But can I make this assessment of the situation? Somewhere along the line, that Christian artist is blaming God for something tragic or something that happened in his life that he can't quite seem to answer and figure out within his own wisdom. He stopped looking toward God, and he stopped acknowledging God for everything that happened in his life. He stopped becoming thankful, and he stopped looking toward God for daily guidance. That's what I believe happened in general with him. But that's something that we as all Christians can do sometimes. When something tough happens and something difficult happens and we can't seem to figure it out in our own minds, we'll try to blame everybody else, and probably worst of all, we'll end up blaming God. I know in my life, many years ago when my father passed away, I had been in that position as well. And can I tell you, church family, that's a very, very dangerous place to be spiritually. So let me encourage each and every one of you today to be like Joseph. Sometimes what happens to us in life is not meant for us. It's meant for others. And God just wants to use us to convey His word and His truth to those around us, to help people understand that God is in control, that God has a perspective over everything going on in our lives that you or I cannot see right away, and we just need to trust Him. Sometimes things happen so that we can help someone that we know. You never know, but the main thing that we all as Christians need to do is, in a way, be like Joseph and continue our trust in God and continue our faith in God. Our faith in God shouldn't stop at salvation. It should continue with our everyday living. So have Joseph's attitude today. Are you going through something tough? Is this whole quarantine thing starting to drive you nuts? Well, let me assure you that's coming to an end quickly. But let me encourage you to be like Joseph and understand that everything happens for a reason. Many of those times it doesn't happen just for us. We can use those opportunities to grow and grow closer to God. But ultimately, I believe God allows things like that, whether it's tragedy or different events in our lives. He allows things like that into our lives so that, number one, we can grow and closer to Him. And number two, we can go and help someone else. Are you going through something today? Is there something in your life that's driving you nuts? Trust in God, not just for your salvation, but for your everyday living. God has a plan and a purpose. Trust in Him and look toward Him. He'll help you through it. He'll help you grow closer to Him so that you can go help someone else. God bless you, church family. Can't wait to meet together and worship with you guys on June 7th.